But
yeah.
yeah, regardless, it just didn't go the way I thought it was going to. And I think for a lot of people, when they find out the reality, they just go, oh, wow. So I think that's a good place for us to go next. Did you have anything you wanted to say to kind of wrap up the reasons why you went on your search in the first place?
I feel like I pinged around a bit. Overall, just the isolation of being me and wanting to make connection and learn where I came from. Because again, it's so taken for granted by people who know their parents. It's just taken for granted, that connection to a lineage of people. It grounds you. And when you don't have that connection, it's just an odd way to live, I think, to not know where you came from.
Right. And
so it's only natural that you want to find out. And I know that some people get a lot of backlash. I don't think it's so much prevalent now, but when we were younger, looking for a biological parent could be frowned upon. Obviously, that lawyer didn't think it was great, but I think most people have the desire, whether or not they want actually carry it out, they want to know where they came from.
I think it's just a general curiosity. You just think,
Absolutely.
well, hey, I mean, lots of, my friends knew exactly who their parents were. And
right. And you're the adopted kid.
Yeah,
you're the
adopted kid. But again, there were so many of us in my neighborhood. It seemed like in the early 70s, well, actually from like mid 60s to probably late 70s, there's a big trend. I hate to put it that way, but it seemed like it was more, I don't know, an option at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, this week has opened my eyes to different viewpoints on adoption altogether. And honestly, Annie and I are just sharing what we went through, but we're also going to be approaching other people's experiences as well. And, it's not always fun and great, and it's hard.
I know. I think, initially you were talking about this as kind of like a lighthearted share our stories. And I'm like, ooh, I don't think you know my stories.
Well,
totally. Yeah.
So you still get those lighthearted stories, but
absolutely.
You also hear what other people have been through. And so it's definitely going to be an eye opener for some. Absolutely.
Okay, now let's end on a lighter note. Last week, can I say this?
Yes.
Last week, you confessed that you were convinced that Sonny and Cher were your parents.
Well,
so,
I do have to make one little point on that, because I don't want anyone to think that I don't think that Sonny Bono isn't a lovely man, because I think he was adorable. Because I kind of made it seem like, I think I took after Sonny, and that sounded negative.
Oh no, I thought it was fine. Like, I didn't know you had curly hair. I knew you were short, but I didn't know you actually had curly hair.
And my hair is not.
I've always seen it straight and black. Yeah.
I have been living a lie for a long time.
I know the things we're going to learn about each other. What else do you want to confess this week, Mary?
Oh my gosh. Where do I start? The vault. But please tell me who you think, or who you thought your biological parents could have been.
Well, I actually never had a fantasy parent until I saw a picture of Mickey Mantle in his youth in this certain profile. And I'm like, that's my profile. Like you could superimpose my hair on him and feminize him a little bit, and that would be me. And I just kept staring at this picture like I was looking in a mirror. And I'm like, holy crap. So I'm like, do I do this? Do I look? Because I think he had already been passed away when I saw that picture. He died in the 90s, but I saw that picture and I'm like, oh my goodness. So I wanted to look into like, what was he passing through? Oh, I won't say where. I think Cleveland, Ohio. We'll say Cleveland, Ohio at the time.
Okay.
8 months before my birth. Was my mother into baseball? Because I was really into baseball, like really into baseball when I was in my 20s and 30s, even into my 40s. Yeah. So I was like, Mickey Mantle's my dad. I was convinced that Mickey Mantle, and this is as an older person, I'm like, he's got to be. I mean, there's just no way.
So profile is crazy. You had it in your head that, did you have a different birth mother in mind besides Mickey Mantle, or did you already know
he was my birth father? Like he was my birth father. I did not have a birth mother in mind. I did not.
No.
Nope. And that's when I look back on it, I'm like, that's crazy that I didn't. It was always like the grandfather, the Israelis, and Mickey Mantle.
Wow.
Put all of that together. And maybe it was just too much. I didn't want to build up a fantasy of who this woman was, an idea of who this woman was, and have it be disappointed or just like, not match the reality. I wanted the reality to just be what it was. And I can't believe I prepared myself in that way. I really didn't have any idea who she was in my mind. Wow. Did not make anything up about her. Not one thing.
Wow. Is it interesting how my imaginary or fantasy birth parents were like this variety show couple?
Yes.
With, I would have like killed for Cher's abs and her gorgeous hair. Just I don't know, I just love how she used to flip it. And then for you it's the polar opposite. It's this strong athletic guy with this strong profile and then no actual mother. Okay.
Mother fantasy. No, it's just she's going to be who she is. But, so didn't you hear from somebody about their fantasy mother?
Yes. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say her name, so I won't because.
Oh, yeah. Don't say her name. Just say the.
Yeah. We're really just trying to.
Say who it was.
Yes. We're really just trying to keep things fairly anonymous, but.
Oh, I wasn't even asking for the name. Just like, what did they say?
Yeah. She reached out yesterday and said that she was installing some hooks in her daughter's closet and that she had checked out our episodes and said she was laughing hysterically about the segment we did on the bio parents. And she said she always imagined her biological mother was Madonna, which is awesome. So cool.
Yeah.
Because I was a huge Madonna fan.
There is that where when you don't know the reality, you get to make it up. That's fun. Yeah. There's some fun to that, right?
And it should be fun to kind of fantasize like that. And, I did.
Yeah.
So I guess here at the Adoption Squad, we do try to keep it light at times, but we're definitely, we know there are going to be some dark moments. But if you do have a couple of people in mind that you thought might have made.
Yeah. Share your fantasy parents with us.
Yeah, please.
Who do you believe? Yeah. I think that's great.
That list could be very interesting. And I feel like timeline wise, mine would have been appropriate for the time period. So it all checked out. Yeah. I mean, I even thought of other things that could have been appropriate around the time of when I was born, but we're going to save that for other
I
episodes.
think you went hard after the Sonny and Cher connection. You went hard after that. You were in. You were all in.
I mean, Cher would take one look at me and go, I don't know, kid. I didn't get any of her talent, but man, I love her. She rocks. She's great.
Okay.
So I guess that's it for me.
That's it for me.
Yeah. Next week, we're going to talk about how we made those connections. Feel free to reach out to us at theadoptionsquad@gmail.com. We are everywhere else. You can click on all of the icons at the top of our website in order to see our YouTube channel. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are everywhere. Also, I definitely want to encourage people, please vote early, please. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. Annie, any words of wisdom or parting words for everyone?
No, just be prepared to revisit your past too. Lord, this was a little rough this week, thinking about all things, but I got through it. We talked. I got through it. Dry eyes. I didn't go down a few roads. I kept myself safe. We're all good.
You did great. I loved it.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, yeah.
Until next time, everybody. Do you want to say
word to your mothers?
There you go.
We got to figure out a routine for this, right?
We do.
Word to your mothers.
And to your fathers. Bye, everyone.
Good night. All right. Bye.
Bye.